nearly everything encompassing our life. Our schedules, our knowledge, our routines, our goals, our careers, our hobbies, our friendships, the different ways we cut loose or have fun. Our politics, many aspects of our religion. The ways we are programmed to judge, evaluate and select. The ways this world conditions us to think about ourselves and our world. Every aspect of our lives, and our thoughts, are pre-programmed by this world. The truth is, you are giving your power away to this world, in literally every possible way. And the worst part is, you don't even know it. You see, the second we're born into a system that seeks to constantly revalidate itself, by making sure that once you're born, you begin to buy into the system too. And let's face it, by the time you are born, your parents are fully a part of the world system, and therefore are prepared to birth you in, and raise you in, this world. So most parents are sacrificing their children to the world. And they don't even realize there's a choice to be made in the matter. Because this world is actually a death cult, that gets its energy from destroying your soul, and keeping you as a slave. Unaware of it. This world doesn't seem like a choice. It seems like everything there is. And it just is what it is. But in reality, this world is a false world, built on layers of lies, used to deceive you and get you to buy into it. And by the very nature of you buying into it, as you grow up, you just become further and further indoctrinated into it. Because you know no other way. So that's really what growing up is. It's less about actually growing up. And more about being fully indoctrinated into the system. How to think, how to dress, education, getting a job, getting married, having children, paying taxes, being in debt, being on social media, getting caught up in the news and politics, and how busy and stressed out we are, and everything in between. We all just assume, things are the way they are, and we never question them. We just accept it, and complain about it. Giving more and more power away to this world, and proving that we feel like a victim to it. Because it's all we've ever seen, and it's all we've ever known. But the truth is, this world is literally a lie, that has been seamlessly crafted around you. And because of that, you have been living a lie your entire life. And I know you might think this sounds a little out there. But think about it. If what I'm saying is true, by this world's very design, the concept that this world is a lie, would have to feel a little out there. It can't make sense at first. Because the truth doesn't fit in this world. The truth is too big for this world of petty, sensitive egos and lies. Because this world's ego feels insecure and attacked by the truth. This world wants you worshipping it. So it feels insecure and attacked by the vastness of God, the creator of all being. And it will do everything it can to either get you to believe God doesn't exist, or get you to worship a false representation of God, that it feels comfortable with. And atheists. It's okay if you don't believe in God right now. I get where you're coming from. I spent many years in atheism. God guided me there to cleanse me of everything He is not. But just be cautious. Because many who call themselves atheists, and Christians, today, are actually just following popular trends. And they're doing it to be cool or to be liked by others. Take the trend of deconstructionism. People deconstructing their faith. You see, it was hard to be atheist 15 to 20 years ago. Now it's so easy, and so cool they even have a trendy identity badge that makes you part of the cool kids club. Deconstructionist. All I'm saying is be aware. Anyways, atheists? If you don't believe in God, I'll meet you where you're at. You just have to have an absolute unquenchable desire for capital T, truth. The truth beyond man's intellect. Beyond what we see here. The real fucking truth. Because truth and God, go hand in hand. But just understand, most atheists, just like most Christians, are following a lower false representation of the truth. A bastardized lower truth. Anyway. So every system of this world is made to keep you from seeing the real eternal truth, and the infinite vastness of God. This world system has programmed you to immediately reject any notion that questions the validity of the world system. But here's why it's not even a little crazy. It's actually the most pragmatic, practical, obvious realization. Jesus spent a lot of energy during his life, drawing distinction between this world and himself. He said things like, "If the world hates you, keep in mind, it hated me first." And who was he killed by? The world. Made up of who? His religious leaders, colluding with his government. So when Jesus talks about the world, he's talking about the principalities and powers that rule the world. And the very setup and order and structure of this world. You see, it might seem like just the way it is. But Jesus was trying to illuminate your mind to the truth. And he was willing to sacrifice himself in order to save you. Because the truth of Jesus goes deep. It goes so deep, that Jesus literally is the truth. And this world literally is a lie. So this world is essentially ruled collectively by ego. The animal side of our mind that is ruled by, and a slave to its desires. Desire for pleasure, sex, money and power. And appearing good. Now these things aren't bad. But when we aren't awake to the way these things rule and run our lives, they end up completely controlling us, unconsciously. And that's the world you live in today. So this fallen world is ruled by our ego collectively. And the ego will always do anything it can to continue the lie, in order to not be found out. So there's a deep reason Jesus spent so much energy drawing our attention to the lies and deception, that is the energy that rules this physical world. And contrasting that with the energy of his kingdom. The kingdom of heaven. Which is ruled by truth. And he told us that the kingdom of heaven is within us. And he's pointing to the idea that this world is not what it seems. It's actually 100% a spiritual battle. And it's going on within us. Because within us, we have our ego. The animalistic side of our nature, enslaved to lust, and pride, and appearing righteous, and never wanting to admit we're wrong or bad. And always wanting to do it on our own. To prove ourselves as worthy or better than others. But then we also have the seed of God planted within us. Because we are made in God's image. And there is literally a battle going on for our souls. And in his kingdom of truth, the truth will set you free. And in order to be born into his kingdom of truth, you actually have to go on a journey of dying to the lies, that are this world. So what are you supposed to do about this? I'm glad you asked. First of all, you don't have to do anything about it. If this seems perfectly fine to you, please, keep living your life the way you see fit. I'm not trying to convince you or to change you. However, if this resonates with you, and you want to see how deep this goes, and you care about the truth, then all you have to do is shift your awareness. Begin meditating, and praying, and contemplating on this world and how it controls you. Ask to be shown all of the ways this world vies for your attention, distracts you from yourself, hypnotizes you, and keeps you asleep. Ask God to begin to illuminate those things. Ask Him to show you all of the subtle ways you give your power away to this world without even realizing it. Also, and this is the most important part, begin to consciously shift the way you see this world. Begin to separate yourself from this world. And view this world as separate from you. Because Jesus said, "Be in the world, but not of the world." And so begin to view yourself as unplugging from this world, and plugging into truth. What I mean here is, devote yourself to knowing and seeing truth whenever possible. Especially when the truth may be painful and difficult for you to look at, or to accept. This is a sign that you are beginning to wake up to truth, and no longer living a lie. No longer hiding from it, and crafting a reality in order to avoid it, while looking like you're just a normal person living a normal life. And just a side note. The capital T truth is almost never neatly packaged in the tenets of a denomination, or specific political party. Because all of these are institutions of the world. And that's a lazy attempt at truth. So devote yourself to knowing and seeing truth whenever possible. Even if it takes you beyond your identity boxes or social and political preconceptions. And there's no better way to see truth than to begin to focus on Jesus. Because Jesus is the embodiment of truth, in this world full of lies. So de-emphasize the world, and emphasize Jesus. The truth. Picture yourself turning away from the world that has been running your life without your awareness. And picture yourself turning to the truth of Jesus. And ask Him to guide you deeper into the truth. The rest will take care of itself. When you focus on Jesus, the things of this world will begin to fade away. And the dominion and control the world system used to have on your life will begin to diminish. Strongholds, emotional bondage, vices, addictions and escapes, will begin to lose their grip on you. And as Jesus says, world peace begins with inner peace. So it begins with you seeing your own problems instead of focusing on others' problems or the problems of the world. You know. Remove the plank from your own eye before pointing out the splinter in your friend's eye. So when we fix ourselves, we can see clearly to help others. And no, this isn't about hating the world. Or judging it. Or not being a part of it at all. This is about true love. The love of Christ. He loves this world so much, He gave His life for it. So stop giving your power away to this world. This world has had its tentacles wrapped around you for far too long. And start surrendering to the truth of Jesus. And this goes beyond religion. I don't give a fuck if you're atheist, Buddhist, Muslim, or a scientist, or whatever the fuck else. The truth of Christ is for all of us. But it requires our humility and surrender. To set aside our ego, and ask Jesus to guide us to the truth. The truth of Jesus has the power to cut through all lies. It has the power to cut through all oppression. It has the power to cut through all bondage. To free us from the toxic, all-encompassing, hypnotic demon of politics. To free us from the personal purity, empty self-righteous demon of religion. To free us from the stronghold of the demons of news, gossip and entertainment. To free us from the mental prison that is addiction to social media, and toxic comparison, and information overload. To free us from caring so much about the opinions of others. To free us from caring more about fitting in, than the truth. To free us from our fears. This world has been controlling us with fear for far too long. The truth will set you free. Free from guilt, shame, pride, self-improvement, hard work and everything in between. And to usher us into the joy and peace of God, who loved us enough to create us, and is so far beyond our comprehension, we can only trust Him. The age of the reign of the father of lies is coming to an end. And the age of the reign of truth is upon us. All glory and honor to the Most High God.
We were saying how very important it is to bring about in the human mind the radical revolution. The crisis is a crisis in consciousness, a crisis that cannot anymore accept the old norms, the old patterns, the ancient traditions. And considering what the world is now, with all the misery, conflict, destructive brutality, aggression, and so on. Man, he's still as he was. He's still brutal, violent, aggressive, acquisitive, competitive, and he has built a society along these lines.